Welcome back to my channel. Today in this tutorial we are going to cover another new features that is introduced under this Spring Boot 4, that is a new null pointer handling. So null pointer exception is one of the most common errors in Java. Almost every Java developer has faced it in production. So in this video, we will see what has changed in Spring Boot 4 regarding null pointer handling and why this change is important. And also we'll see how Spring Boot help us to avoid null pointer exceptions before runtime. So this is basically not a theory. This is a real framework level change in Spring Boot 4 that is powered by Spring Framework 7. So before Spring Boot 4 basically, Java and Spring had no strong null safety systems. If a value was null, we usually found out only at the runtime when the application crashed with a null pointer exception, right? If we take one example of this, so let me copy some codes over here. So this is the, let's say this is the one of the method that is in our maybe one of the service layer, maybe let's say user service, where we have added this get username. So for get the username, what we need to pass? We need to pass the user object. So we are not sure about it that user is a empty or not. User can be null or that can be not null, but we are not sure about it. So that means if we can get that user is null, so definitely from this line we can get null pointer exception at the runtime, because in the compile time it will not give us any exception and it will not able to understand the user can be null or not. So that is the limitations before the Spring Boot 4. But in Spring Boot 4 they have introduced, we can understand, or we have, there's a mechanism in the compile time we can easily understand that user can be null, so we need to handle it before push it push this code into the production. Okay, so what is the big change in Spring Boot 4? Basically, this Spring Boot 4 introduced a major improvement in null pointer handling. It is based on Spring Framework 7, which officially adopts JSpecify, and this is the basically standard nullness specification for Java. This is the key change. Okay, so now let's try to little bit try to understand about the JSpecify, just basic thing about it. Okay, so JSpecify is a standard way to tell Java uh, tools and framework whether a value can be null or cannot be null. Instead of guessing, if you see here, basically you need to guess that this particular object is a basically null or maybe not null. So that means we are basically assuming or guessing over here. So in the Spring Boot 4, instead of guessing, it makes null behavior explicit, right? So for that they have introduced some annotations. So definitely we will go through it, we will share some example, we'll write some code for it so that we can get more understand about it. Okay, so in Spring Boot 4 everything is non-null by default. So this is the biggest behavioral change for this. When any package is marked as null marked, means all methods, parameters and the return values are treated as not nullable unless we are explicitly declared it. Okay, so let's try to run some write some code just to understand like how these things are basically working. Okay, so let us first of all let us create one package over here like dot product, which will contains product related information. But before writing anything, let's first of all create one package info Java. This particular package, that means whatever we are going to write under this package, so the default where will be at the rate nullmarked, meaning everything whatever you're going to write under this package, that will be, it will be non-null by default. So this is the meaning of this nullmarked. You can also get the details from the official side of it. Okay, So this is the default meaning of it. Next, we need to create one product annotations, not annotation, product record, which having this ID, name and the price of this particular product. Next, we need to create one service of this product which contains one method. That particular method is return the, for the timing I'm removing this at the nullable, which is the parameter we need over here, the ID, and based on the ID it will return the product object. Okay, that basically search from this list of product. Okay, let's say this list can have this 1 to 3, and from this list of IDs it will search and return the particular object. Okay, in case if it is not getting the data, then it will throw the null. Okay, it will throw the null object. So that means this particular method can return the null also. Now let's write one controller. Okay, now this controller here we have inject this service. Okay, and this we have used the constructor injection over here, and we have created one get API which can take the ID as a path variable, and then using this service we are calling this find product by ID. So here this method can return null also. If it is a null, then definitely from this line number 20 we can get null pointer exception. But now we are not getting any compilations error because here also we are using this at the rate NullMarked. So but we supposed to get that exception, right? So first of all, why would need to do, we need to use this at the rate nullable. Okay, so this annotation we need used. So if you see that we have getting different types of at the rate nullable annotations which we can get different types of packages, but we need to use this JSpecify, right? This one. So that means what we are saying instead of means giving that, that means this particular method can return null. So that means from here it will return the, it will give us some warning or compilations issues, but currently we are not getting. Why? Sometimes the ID is basically not supported to give this kind of compilations, or uh, Eclipse is currently is not supporting to give this one. This is a version is not new. So for that we need to enable something. So you can go these preferences, then from the compiler, then error warnings, then here under this null analysis you need to choose the enable annotation based analysis as a true, and from here you can go to the configure, and here you need to specify those annotation. Okay, now click this OK, apply, yes, apply and close. So now that things will be applied. Now you can see this is giving us the compilation error, right? So that means it's clearly mentioning that potentials null pointer access. The variable p may be the null at this location, right? So in this way it will, that means before committing the code, it is like alerting or give us the warning. This particular p value can give us the null pointer exception. So it will not allow you to compile, it will not give you the successfully build that particular project. So that means we need to handle this exception. If we handled it, let's say if p not equals to null, then basically you need to print it, right? So that now you can see it is not, now it is the error is compilation is error is now gone, right? So if we handle it, that means it is not giving the exception now. So this is the benefit for the system also, right? Okay, let's, so that means here if you see this, we have used the at the rate nullable in the method level. Okay, now the same thing can happen for the parameter levels also. So let's create another package, let's say transactions. Okay, now we need to follow the same process, like we need to create one package info, and this particular package info can contains this at the rate null marked, meaning everything in this package is non-null by default, including the parameters, return type, all these things, right? Next we need to create another record, that is a transaction request, which will take this ID and the type. So here ID, the type is a nullable. That means the type can be, we can pass the null values over here. Now we need to create transaction service where we need to create one method. So let me create this transaction service. Now here we can create one method @service. Okay, now we need to create this method id and the type. Now if we write this code under this method, so here if you see the type we are passing as a @nullable, that means the type can be null. So if it is a null, that means null dot something, it will obviously giving the null pointer exception. So that's why it's saying that we can get the potential null pointer access, right? So that means we need to put some conditions over here. Let's say type not equals to null and this, so that it will resolve this compilations issues. So that means we need to handle this exception, right? Then only it will work. Now if we try to build this application, okay, what it will do, it will build successfully or not. Let's see. It will take some time to build first time. Let it complete. Okay, so here also if you see that it is giving us the compilation error right from here. So that means, yeah, so this is the compilation failure. Okay, not null return type, from which one error here. Line number 24, right? Line number 24, this is. So that means that particular will be null, it can be written the null. So basically we can, if p is else, what you can do, let's say new p equals to new p id name and price, id name and price. So we can, like, let's say if it is a null basically, so instead of returning the null entity or DTOs, we can assign it with some default. Okay, why it is giving that null? Let me do it as a Maven clean, update project. Yeah, clean it. So it will remove all the compilations issues now. Okay, now let's try to build that project again. So let's see now it is successfully built or not. It will resolve now because we are not now returning the null, so it will resolve the compilation issues. Yeah, now you can see the build is success. Okay, so this is the basically overall the things that how we are going to uh, handle this null pointer exception in Spring Boot 4. Okay, so as you can see that Spring Boot 4 introduces a framework level approach to null safety. By using this JSpecify and Spring Framework 7, null pointer issues are detected early, code contracts become clear, and application become more stable, right? So this is not just a small improvement, it is a shift towards safer Java development. Like, so that's all for it. If you found this video helpful, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. In the next video, I try to come up with some new session with this Spring Boot 4. Thanks for your time. See you in my next videos. Bye bye.